Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University School of Extension and Development Studies, SOEDS. Master of Arts in Development Studies, MADVS. Second year. MDV 10A Development Communication and Extension. Block 1 Extension Education. Unit 2 Extension Education, A Global Perspective. 2.1 Introduction. Globally, it is not technology or physical resources alone, but what people do with them is important in the process of development. What people do with the resources depends largely on the nature and extent of the investment in their educational growth. The importance of extension of knowledge through education versus the discovery of knowledge through research for overall development is not yet fully realized. Equally in many parts of the world, this reality is being increasingly recognized by development agencies globally, where emphasis is on the use of democratic methods to attain national development objectives. This is particularly so in many Asian, African, and Latin American countries which are interested in promoting participatory development. Emerging from the acceptance of this idea is the concept of ways to help people to help themselves in order to improve their level of living by aided self-help through education. This concept is popularly expressed globally by the term extension education, which we have discussed in the previous unit. Worldwide in different countries, extension education is currently associated with different subsectors of development and diverse providers employing a variety of terminologies, everything from extension to advisory services to knowledge and information services. As a result, the term extension has become a generic phrase employed to refer to the variety of systems and providers that have emerged for communicating and transmitting information and technology for the development of different subsectors globally. The purpose of this unit is to introduce you to the global extension education systems by taking examples from developed, developing, and underdeveloped countries. After studying this unit, you should be able to times discuss the meanings of extension terminology used in different countries. Times explain change in role, approaches, and paradigms of global extension systems. Times discuss the extension systems that are operational in few countries. Times summarize the areas of change and challenges faced by global extension systems. 2.2 Global extension terminology. In the previous unit, we discussed that the term extension was first used to describe adult education programs in England in the second half of the 19th century. These programs helped to expand or extend the work of universities beyond the campus and into the neighboring community. The term was later adopted in the United States of America, while in Britain it was replaced with the term advisory service in the 20th century. A number of other terms are used in different parts of the world to describe or denote extension work. Country local terminology meaning Arabic Al-Irshad guidance, Dutch Voorlichting lighting the path, German Beratung Aufklärung advisory work enlightenment, Erzieher education, French vulgarization simplification, Spanish capacitation improving skills, Thai Lao Song Suem to promote, Persian Tarwij and Gostaresh to promote and to extend, Indonesia Penyuluhan lighting the way ahead with a torch, Malaysia Perkembangan lighting the way ahead with a torch, USA Cooperative Extension teach people to solve problems themselves, Austria Fordrang furthering stimulating. Source Van den Ban and Hawkins, 2002. The Dutch use the word voorlichting, which means lighting the pathway ahead, to help people find their way. In Indonesia, the term penyuluhan, and in Malaysia, the word perkembangan are used, which means lighting the way ahead with a torch. This follows the Dutch example, and Germans talk of advisory work or beratung, which implies that an expert can give advice on the best way to reach your goal, but leaves the way for your selection. The Germans also use the word Aufklärung, enlightenment, in health extension to highlight the importance of learning the values underlying good health and to stress the point that we must know clearly where we are going. Germans also speak of Erziehung, education, as in the USA, where it is stressed that the goal of extension is to teach people to solve problems themselves. The Austrians speak of Förderung, furthering, or stimulating you to go in a desirable direction. The French speak of vulgarization, which stresses the need to simplify the message for common man, while the Spanish use the word capacitation, which indicates the intention to improve the people's skills, although normally it is used to mean training. 2.3 Global transformation of the meaning of extension. From the discussion presented in the previous section, we can understand that there is no widely accepted standard meaning for the term extension education the world over. However, over time the meaning of extension has been changed based on its development objectives, reach, delivery, funding, etc. For your comprehensive understanding on how the meaning of extension changed over time, examples are given below, which are taken from a number of books on extension, published over a period of over 50 years. 1949, the central task of extension is to help rural families help themselves by applying science, whether physical or social, to the daily routines of farming, homemaking, and family and community living. Brunner and Hassine Pao Yang, 1949. 1965. Extension has been described as a system of out-of-school education for rural people. Saville, 1965. 1966. Extension personnel have the task of bringing scientific knowledge to farm families in the farms and homes. The object of the task is to improve the efficiency of agriculture. Bradfield, 1966. 1973. Extension is a service or system which assists farm people through educational procedures in improving farming methods and techniques, increasing production efficiency and income, bettering their levels of living and lifting social and educational standards. Maunder, 1973. 1974. Extension involves the conscious use of communication of information to help people form sound opinions and make good decisions. Van den Ban, 1974. 1982. Extension is to help people identify and analyze their production problems and become aware of the opportunities for improvement. Adams, 1982. 1988. Extension is a professional communication intervention deployed by an institution to induce change in voluntary behaviors with a presumed public or collective utility. Rowling, 1988. 1997. Extension is the organized exchange of information and the purposive transfer of skills. Nagel, 1997. 1999. The essence of agricultural extension is to facilitate interplay and nurture synergies within a total information system involving agricultural research, agricultural education, and a vast complex of information providing businesses. Neuchâtel Group, 1999. 2004. Extension is a series of embedded communicative interventions that are meant, among others, to develop and/or induce innovations which supposedly help to resolve, usually multi-actor, problematic situations. Lewis and Van den Ban, 2004. 2010, extension is a system that facilitates access to new knowledge, information, and technologies and promotes interaction with research, education, business, and other relevant institutions to assist in developing technical, organizational, and management skills and practices. Christopoulos, 2010. 2017, The New Extensionist is a global view of extension and advisory services, EAS, that reinvents and clearly articulates the role of EAS in the rapidly changing rural context. It argues for an expanded role for EAS within agricultural innovation systems, AIS, and development of new capacities at different levels to play this role. G. Faraz, 2017. 2.4 The changing role and approaches of extension. 2.4.1 Changing role of extension. Globally, till the recent past, extension education for development has been essentially the responsibility of public sector, both in terms of funding and delivery. However, with the introduction of privatization, liberalization, and globalization, extension is globally viewed as comprising public, private, and semi-public systems that make up a multi-institutional, multi-sectoral pluralistic system. Also, views on extension have changed in emphasis from simple transfer of technology to organizing people for participatory development. Originally thought of as part of a knowledge triangle composed of research, education, and extension. Currently, extension is viewed more broadly as part of innovation systems for development. These changes, involving how extension is perceived, how its aims have changed, and how it is seen to fit into a newly conceived larger system of innovations, further underscores the importance of extension as both an object of reform and an engine of innovations for development. Extension innovations for development. Extension innovations for development is the process by which new knowledge, information, or technology is improved, adapted, diffused, and used, leading to social, cultural, human, and economic developments. Globally, as an object of reform, it is called upon to adopt, for example, innovative, structural, funding, and managerial arrangements, and as an engine for advancing innovations for development, the process by which new knowledge, information, or technology is developed, adapted, diffused, and used, leading to social, cultural, human, and economic development. It is called upon to take on new roles beyond traditional technology dissemination. 2.4 To change in extension approaches. The development of extension services in different fields of development in the modern era has differed from country to country. Despite the variations, it is possible to identify a general sequence of 4 approaches or generations, NAFs. 2005. Colonial extension. Experimental stations were established in many Asian, African, and Latin American countries by the colonial powers. The focus of attention, first, was on agricultural extension with more emphasis on export crops such as rubber, tea, cotton, and sugar. Technical advice was provided to plantation managers and large landowners, assistance to small farmers and marginalized people who grew subsistence crops and livestock was rare, except in times of crisis. Colonial powers also started education and family health care extension through the establishment of schools and hospitals. 2. Diverse top-down extension after independence, commodity service. Based extension efforts emerged from the remnants of the colonial system, with output targets established as part of 5-year development plans in community development, agriculture, industry, education, health and family welfare, etc. In addition, various schemes were initiated to meet the needs of small and marginalized people with support from foreign donors. 3. Unified top-down extension. During the 1970s and 80s, the training and visit extension system was introduced by the World Bank. Existing extension organizations were merged into a single national service. Regular messages were delivered to groups of people, promoting the adoption of improved technologies or practices for development. 4. Diverse bottom-up extension. When World Bank funding came to an end, the training and visit extension system collapsed in many countries, leaving behind a patchwork of programs and projects funded from various other sources. The decline of central planning, combined with a growing concern for sustainable development and equity, has resulted in participatory methods of development gradually replacing top-down approaches. The fourth generation, diverse bottom-up extension, is well established in some countries, while it has only just begun in other places. Major changes in the Indian extension system. India's extension system has experienced major changes since the late 1990s. In governance structures, capacity, organization, management, and advisory methods. The changes involve the decentralization of extension service, provision to the local level, the adoption of pluralistic modes of extension, service provision, and financing, the use of participatory extension approaches, capacity training of extension beneficiaries to express their demands, and capacity training of service providers to respond to the demands of beneficiaries. The reform initiatives reflect the view that development in all sectors requires demand-driven, accountable, need-specific, purpose-specific, and target-specific extension services. Rivera, et al. 2001. 2.5 Global Paradigms of Extension. Globally, any particular extension system can be described both in terms of both how communication takes place and why it takes place. It is not the case that paternalistic systems are always persuasive, nor is it the case that participatory extension initiatives are necessarily educational. Instead, there are 4 possible combinations, each of which represents different extension paradigms for development as follows. NAFS, 2005. I. Technology transfer for development, persuasive plus paternalistic. This paradigm was prevalent in colonial times and reappeared in the 1970s and 1980s when the training and visit system was established in many Asian countries. Technology transfer involves a top-down approach that delivers specific recommendations to people about the practices they should adopt for development. 2. Advisory development work, persuasive plus participatory. This paradigm can be seen today where government organizations or private consulting companies respond to people's inquiries for development with technical prescriptions. It also takes the form of projects managed by donor agencies and NGOs that use participatory approaches to promote development through predetermined packages of technology. 3. Human resource capacity building for development, educational plus paternalistic. This paradigm dominated the earliest days of extension in Europe and North America, and later in Asia and Africa, when universities gave training to people who were too poor to attend full-time courses. It continues today in the extension activities of colleges, research organizations, and development departments around the world. Top-down teaching methods are employed, but people are expected to make their own decisions about how to use the knowledge they acquire for development. 4. Facilitation for development, educational plus participatory. This paradigm involves methods such as exposing people to learning experiences and person-to-person exchange of extension communication. Knowledge is gained through interactive processes and the participants are encouraged to make their own ideas decisions for development. The best known agricultural extension examples in Asia are projects that use farmer field schools or participatory technology development. Change in role, approaches and paradigms of global extension systems. Globally, it must be noted that there is some disagreement about extension roles, approaches and paradigms. About extension role, some argue for public delivery of extension services, some argue for private delivery and some argue for public-private partnerships. About extension approach, some favor diverse unified top-down extension, while some support diverse bottom-up extension. In case of paradigms, some experts believe that the term extension should be restricted to persuasive function, while others believe it should only be used for educational activities. There are economic, for role, efficiency, for approaches, and philosophical, for paradigms, reasons behind the above agreements or disagreements. However, irrespective of role, approach, and paradigm, we are concerned with the practical point of view of how extension is useful for the development of any sector. In this context, the above discussed extension roles, approaches, and paradigms are currently being organized under the name of extension for development pragmatically, if not ideologically, in one part of the globe or another. 2.6 Global Extension Systems. In this section, we will discuss briefly the extension education systems of a few countries, including India. 2.6. 1. India. In the Indian context, there are four major organizational streams devoted to extension work for development of various subsectors. These are I. First line extension system comprising mainly union and state ministries, research councils and their research institutes functioning under various ministries, national and state institutes for development of different sectors, and central and state universities. 2. Second or middle level extension system comprising mainly state departments for development. 3. Third level extension system comprising mainly village level extension workers under state departments. 4. Development extension work by non-government organizations, voluntary organizations, business and corporate houses. The extension organizations under these four extension systems, with examples, are given below for your understanding. The Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology. The voluntary sector in India plays a major role in extension and development through mobilizing communities and catalyzing people's initiatives for change, as well as through direct implementation of interventions around specific issues. Formal recognition of the role of voluntary organizations in the 7th plan documented to the formation of the Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology. CAPAT, in 1986, as a nodal agency for catalyzing and coordinating the emerging partnership between voluntary organizations and the government for sustainable development of rural areas. CAPART was formed by amalgamating two agencies, the Council for Advancement of Rural Technology and People's Action for Development India. CAPART is an extension system and organizations. First line extension system. Union and State Ministries of Agriculture, Rural Development, Health and Family Welfare. Times Indian Council of Agricultural Research. ICAR, Indian Council of Medical Research. ICMR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. CSIR, Indian Council for Social Science Research. ICSSR, Indian Council for Forestry Research. ICFR. National Institutes of Rural Development. NIRD, National Institute for Health and Family Welfare. NIHFW, National Institute for Agricultural Extension Management. Manage. Times Central Universities, State Agricultural Universities, State Health Universities, General Universities. Second or middle level extension system. State Departments of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry, Environment, Panchayat Raj and Rural Development, Revenue, Health and Family Welfare, Education, Energy. Times State Institutes for Rural Development. SIRD. Third level extension system, village level extension workers for various line departments. NGOs and voluntary organizations, Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology, CAPART. The Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology. The voluntary sector in India plays a major role in extension and development through mobilizing communities and catalyzing people's initiatives for change, as well as through direct implementation of interventions around specific issues. Formal recognition of the role of voluntary organizations in the 7th Plan documented to the formation of the Council for Advancement of People's Action and Rural Technology. CAPART, in 1986, as a nodal agency for catalyzing and coordinating the emerging partnership between voluntary organizations and the government for sustainable development of rural areas. CAPART was formed by amalgamating two agencies, the Council for Advancement of Rural Technology and People's Action for Development India. CAPART is an autonomous body registered under the Societies Registration Act, 1860 and functions under the aegis of the Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. Today, this agency is a major promoter of rural development in India, assisting over 12,000 voluntary organizations across the country in implementing a wide range of development initiatives. Indian extension programs for development can be classified under 4 distinct stages. Times community development. Times technological development. Times development with social justice. Times infrastructure development. Some examples of extension programs in each of the stages with commonly used abbreviation and year of initiation are presented. Look at the screen. 2.6 to the United States of America. In the United States of America, USA, an extension agent is a university employee who develops and delivers educational programs to assist people in economic and community development, leadership, family issues, agriculture, environment, and in many other developmental issues. Another program area that extension agents provide is 4-H and youth Many extension agents work for cooperative extension service programs at land-grant universities. They are sometimes referred to as county agents or educators. For your understanding, their extension work is briefly described below. Cooperative Extension Service. Cooperative Extension Service in the United States is publicly supported, informal adult education and development organization. Established in 1914 by the Smith-Lever Act, it constitutes one of the largest adult education programs in the world and consists of 3 levels of organization: federal, state, and county. The cooperative extension system involves many organizations, including USDA Cooperative State, Research, Education and Extension Service, over 100 state land-grant universities and colleges, and over 3,000 county governments. Land-grant partners include historically black universities and colleges, Native American universities and colleges, and informal partnerships with Hispanic institutions of higher education. Its overall objective is to plan, execute, and evaluate learning experiences that will help people acquire the understanding and skills essential for solving farm, home, and community development problems. 4-H 4-H in the United States and Canada is a youth organization administered by the Cooperative State Research, Education, and Extension Service with the mission of engaging youth to reach their fullest potential while advancing the field of youth development. The name represents 4 personal development areas of focus for the organization: times head, times heart, times hands, and times health. The official 4-H emblem is a green 4-leaf clover with a white H on each leaf, standing for head, heart, hands, and health. White and green are the 4-H colors. The white symbolizes purity and the green represents growth. Fig 2.1. The 4-H pledges: I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living. For my club, my community, my country, and my world. The 4-H motto is to make the best better, while its slogan is learn by doing, sometimes written as learn to do by doing. The goal of 4-H is to develop citizenship, leadership, and life skills among youth through mostly experiential learning extension programs. The organization has over 6.5 million members in the United States from ages 5 to 19 in approximately 90,000 clubs. Though typically thought of as an agriculturally focused organization as a result of its history, 4-H today focuses on citizenship, healthy living, and science, engineering, and technology extension programs. Today, 4-H and related programs exist in over 80 countries around the world. Each of these programs operates independently but cooperatively through international exchanges, global extension education programs, and communications. 2.6.3 Israel. Agricultural Extension Service of Israel is called Shaham. It handles 4 main areas: training farmers in different methods according to need, times providing professional training to farmers, times producing applied knowledge through field experiments and observations, times professional counseling to units of the Ministry of Agriculture. Special emphasis is given to subjects that reflect public and social benefits and that serve the farmers in particular as well as the entire population. There are professional teams on the national and district levels that are working on the promotion of these subjects. Times water aspects, efficient use of water, water recycling, use of reclaimed and salty water. Times integrating technologies and mechanization, thus saving in labor force. Times improving the quality of agricultural produce to meet international standards for both the local market and export. Times decreasing the use of pesticides in vegetal agriculture. Times promoting agricultural subjects that are related to the quality of the environment, dairy farm reform, use of sludge in agriculture, prevention of agricultural trimming burning, etc. Times diversifying available species in agricultural production. 2.6.4 China. Modern extension service started in China in 1915 with a sponsored popular lecture of promoting forests. This was followed by extension programs on cotton production and extension campaign to eliminate illiteracy in 1918. During this period, the priority areas for extension work were Times first, literacy. Times second, agriculture and economic reconstruction. Times third, rural health. Times fourth, citizenship education. In 1924, a division of extension was started in Nanking Agriculture College, and in the same year, a National Committee of Agriculture Extension Service was organized. After independence, in 1949, China started extension work for the development of all subsectors under 5-year plans. During the 1950s, after the People Republic of China came into being, the Agricultural Technology Extension 8 system was well set up. County-level demonstration farms, manned by mutual help group model laborers and technicians, and 8 stations were established. With the end of Cultural Revolution in the late 1970s, the commune system also collapsed and the government started reforming its agricultural extension services. Presently, the public aid system of China functions at 5 administrative levels, i.e., national, provincial, city, county, and township. The county and township levels constitute the basis of this grassroots extension system. The national level extension institution is the National Agricultural Technology Extension and Service Center, NATESC. After that, a large number of agricultural technology extension and services centers, ATESCs, are located at each administrative level, i.e., provincial, city, prefectural, county, and township, which cover 4 technical are namely crops, livestock, aquaculture and agriculture, and agricultural machinery. The 8 system performs the following functions. Times provision of public service. Times supporting science and technology. Times improving farmers' capability. 2.6.5 The Philippines. The extension program in the Philippines has a very prominent place in the Asian and Far Eastern countries. It has organized national, provincial, and municipal levels. Under the Local Government Code of 1991, the Congress of the Philippines decentralized authority to local governments to manage and supervise basic services, including extension, which had, until then, been the responsibility of the ministries. Resources and assets were transferred, as well as powers to generate resources locally for funding extension and development projects by a total reorganization of the extension system. The extension methods used are from individual to group extension, from mass to folk media, and information technology. In more recent programs, the key production area development approach is used, which focuses on priority areas best suited for specific commodities which are based on agroclimatic suitability and the availability of markets for the products. By this approach, efficient utilization of scarce resources is ensured and the farmers' investments paid off. The empowerment of farmers and fisher folk plays a central role in the approach, and agrarian reform will give farmers access to land and water resources. Building on the Philippines' tradition of schools on the air, a pilot project was established in 1992 with the government and the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Forestry, and Natural Resources Research and Development. After having established the outside information needs of local farmers by participatory methods, short-term training programs are broadcast on the air and supplemented with printed materials or videos. 2.6.6 Bangladesh. The Kamila project in Bangladesh, which aroused the interest of the rural development workers all over the world, could be considered a giant leap forward for the extension work in Bangladesh. In the early 1960s, then East Pakistan, a National Academy was started at Kamila to train government officials in rural development. Kotwali police station of the district was the experimental laboratory for developing and testing rural development methods focusing agriculture development. By trial and error, the academy developed a comprehensive approach with a particularly interesting feature for extension agents. It facilitated an agreement between the local people and the academy to carry out activities such as organizing themselves into village cooperatives. And it became the principal agency for non-formal education, which is the theme of extension in development work. 2.6.7 Sri Lanka. The extension approach in Sri Lanka centers around collective action by many departments as against a single department and emphasizes use of group extension methods. The basic concepts underlying the above approach are the people-centered, bottom-up participatory planning in the preparation of divisional, district, and provincial programs based on people's needs, identified through problem census, problem analysis, and a problem-solving processes. For example, in agricultural extension, farmer reference groups, FRGs, have been established with common interests and similar resource endowments. The FRGs are the most important link between the extension officer and the community. 2.6.8 Pakistan. The Rural Community Development Program in Pakistan is called the Village Aid Program, which was initiated in 1952. The letters A, I, and D in the title, although pronounced aid, are an abbreviation for part of the full title Village Agricultural and Industrial Development, or, more simply, VAID. The extension workers under this program are called VAID workers, VAWs. The aim of the VAID program is to assist villagers, both individually and collectively, to plan and implement self-help programs designed to eliminate or reduce their common problems and to reach agreed goals of development. The types of assistance rendered by the VAWs to the villagers are designed to give them the confidence and the ability to act through organized effort with a minimum of outside help. VAID extension programs changed the concept of government assistance from unilateral government planning and superimposition of programs upon the villagers, in a word, doing things for villagers, to one of supplementing the organized efforts of the villagers in planning and implementing their own programs for development. Basic Democracy System, Rural Works Program, Integrated Rural Development Program, People's Works Program, Barni Area Development Program, Traditional Training and Visit, Tandvi. Extension System are the other major extension and development programs of Pakistan. 2.6.9 Lao People's Democratic Republic. In the Lao People's Democratic Republic, PDR, the extension approach is based on many years of experience involving a set of policies, principles, structures, and processes that should be applied in all provinces and districts, and by all projects that support extension activities. Project managers, provincial staff, and field workers are expected to plan and adapt their extension activities in response to the demands made by village authorities and farming households in a flexible manner. The Lao extension approach is based on the policies of the government, particularly the strategic visions for various development sectors and the National Growth and Poverty Eradication Strategy, 2004. These policies and past experience have led to the identification of following guiding principles. Times decentralized. Times pluralistic and participatory. Times need-based. Times integrated. Times gender-sensitive. Times group-based. Times sustainable. The extension structure of Lao PDR consists of two parts. Times Government Extension Service. Times Village Extension System. The Government Extension Service has three levels: the National Extension Service, the Provincial Extension Service, and the District Extension Service. Staff at the provincial level is called subject matter specialists, and staff at the district level is being retrained as generalists. The Village Extension System involves three groups of people: the village authorities, who plan and manage extension activities as part of their own development plans; production groups that are formed by villagers with a common interest; and village extension workers, who facilitate activities of production groups and help extend information to other members of the community. The village extension workers are appointed and compensated by the community while receiving technical support through the government service. 2.7 Global Challenges for Extension Systems. Extension systems, globally, are forced to adapt to funding constraints. Also, the global perspective on extension is no longer that of a unified public sector service, but of a multi-institutional network of knowledge and information support for the development of people. Swanson and Pahu, 2004. While the most vital element of the extension process is constituted by objectives, Karmi, 1994, the emphasis on various extension objectives differs globally from country to country. Van den Ban, 1986. The goals, for example, shift from the creation of surpluses for a metropolitan context only to providing income-generating opportunities for small and marginalized people, to increasing equity in rural areas, to broad integrated rural development, or to organizing rural people to allow them to bring about their own development and countervail exploitative forces. Rowling, 1982. Following are some of the challenges for extension systems globally in promoting and achieving the changes in extension that will advance extension's potential to enhance development. Rivera, 1997. Advice: complement the focus on development with attention to distribution of benefits of development, but with increasing concern for sustainability of natural resources and the environment, plus the organization of people into relevant associations to increase people-centered development. Stakeholders: promotes the participation of people in extension program development activities, program planning, implementation, and evaluation, and widen the present focus of inclusive development. Source of information. Complement the present focus on development research as the exclusive source of information with a capitalization on local knowledge, public-private partnerships and networking. Information channels complement the dominant role of face-to-face extension with information technology, both for cost-effective delivery and for empowerment of the rural and urban poor. Institutional management move from evaluation of performance-related extension to result-related extension and facilitate interrelations coordination of public and private extension services. Technology transfer shift away from a linear, sequential model of generation. Transfer and utilization of technology towards a model that recognized each stakeholder's ability to gather and apply new information and, thus, shift away from a message-oriented and target-oriented development approach to concern for the quality of the interactions and the role of government in providing a platform for those interactions. Funding, balance public funding support for extension with people's and private contributions, whereby government funding primarily justified by positive externalities, poverty targeting, and industrial development. 2.8 Summary. In this unit, we started by looking at the global extension terminology and understood that though terminologies differ, the overall meaning of extension is almost similar. Later, we discussed the global transformation of the meaning of extension over time, its changing role, approaches, and the global paradigms of extension, and concluded that there has been some disagreement about extension roles, approaches, and paradigms. However, irrespective of role, approach, and paradigm, we are concerned with the practical point of view of how extension is useful for the development of any sector. Later, we discussed global extension systems of few countries including India. In the end, we discussed the global challenges for extension systems. Thank you for listening. We will be back with next chapter.